Hello, this is Hilary Weller. I'm going to show you how to make a times table game in Scratch, and then gives you some challenges for how you can make it better. So here I am at scratch.mit.edu, and I'm going to create a new project. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a name so it's saved, and I'm going to call it Times Tables Game. I call it Times Tables Quiz. So I'm going to start by asking a question. Which times tables do you want to try? So I'm going to, that's a look. I'm going to say it and wait. So that's a sensing. Say, which times tables do you want to try? Which times tables do you want to try? And wait for the answer. So I need my from events, I need my flag at the beginning, and then I need to set the table number to the answer that's given. So this ask a questions and wait until you give an answer. So now I need to remember the answer, so I need a variable for the table number. So I'm going to make a variable called table number. Make a variable table number so that I can remember, it can remember which one it's going to try. And now I'm going to set that variable to the answer. Now the answer is in sensing to the answer that's answer my question. Right, I'll try that out first. Which times tables do you want to try? 43. That's it, doesn't do anything else, but it should set, oh no, it needs to set table number to the answer. Right, I'll try it again. 23, yep, so you can see it's set table number to the answer. I'm going to ask timetables between 1 and 12, so I'm going to also remember, so I'm going to repeat 12 times. Repeat 12 times, and I need to remember which one I'm on. So I need a counter. So I know that's another variable called counter. So I can remember which one I'm asking. So first of all, I set the counter to, for the first one, I set the counter to, I'm going to set it to 0. And then each time round, I'm going to change the counter by 1. So if I run this again now. It's gone all the way through them quickly. I wonder if you can see it doing it. If you watch this very carefully. Watch here. Oh, I saw 1. I saw something that wasn't 12. Anyway, it does it too quickly. That doesn't matter. And now I'm going to say, I need to ask the question. What is counter times the one table number, the one you're trying? So I'm going to ask another question. That's in sensing. Ask. Now I need a lot of joins here because there's a lot of things I need to ask in this question. So I'm going to go to join is in operators and get lots of joins out because I'm going to need to join a lot of things together. I'll start off. Okay. So what is space? Then I know the join, and the first one I'll put in the counter. Then I need another join because there's more things to say. Space times space, and I'm going to need another join because there's a question mark at the end. And here comes the variable table number and question mark. So this is what is counter times table number, question mark. I can run that and it should ask the questions. I'll try 444 this time. What is 1 times 444? And that's it. You put in anything, it just loops through them all. Waits for the answer and asks the next one until it's finished. So now we need to work out if the answer you give is correct. So we need to, if it's correct, we need to say yes, that's correct, and if it's not, it needs to say it's not correct. So we need an if, which is in control, an if and else. So if it's correct, so we need an operator. If the answer is, we need to say if the answer is the right answer. So if sensing answer is equal to, and you need an operator again to work out what the right answer is. So the right answer is going to be counter times table number. Counter times table number. So if the answer you give is the right one, we need to say, well done, yeah, you got it right. So we say is in looks, and I'll say it for 1 second. Correct. 1 second. It's probably actually a bit long. If it's not the right answer, you say wrong. Wrong. Right. Let's see what that does. Which times table? I'll try 1. 1 times table. What's 1 times 1? Correct. What's 2 times 1? 2. Correct. Now I'm going to get the wrong answer. Wrong. What is 4 times 1? I'm going to say 2. Wrong. Oh, and it's taking quite a long time. Oh, I put in nothing. Wrong, 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 wrong. Okay, I'm going to stop this. I'm bored of this. I think it's doing the right thing. Now I want to make it add up the score. So I'm going to make another variable for the score. Make a variable score. And first of all, the score is 0, so I need to set the score to 0 at the beginning. Set score to 0. And then if you get the right answer, you get another point on your score. If it's correct, as well as saying it's correct, add a point to your score. Let's see how that goes. Which times table do you want to try? 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Correct. Oh, and my score's gone up. Good. 6. Correct. My score's gone up. Good. I'm going to stop this because I don't want to do them all. There's other things you can do. You could make it say at the end, say what your total score is. If you get it wrong, you could make Scratch tell you the right answer rather than just saying wrong. You could make it, going from 1 to 12 is quite boring. You could make the times table to go between, say, 2 and 12 rather than between 1 and 12, or 2 and 12, or you might be able to make it do only the hard ones. If you got it wrong, you could try making it ask you that one again at the end, or getting much more difficult challenge, make it ask the timetables in a random order. But I'm not going to show you a video of those. There's a link to a website which gives you a list of those challenges.